guys, it's me, Ruowen Huang. I guess this week is a week we're gonna talk about majority of saying or common chanting in, I would believe, mostly Buddhism. Right, so, for those of you who have no idea, not interested, that's okay. I guess this is not one for you. But, since that's a majority of people's question, I will still try to make an episode and hopefully I can answer the question. Before I begin, actually, I want to clarify something. I noticed many of you would write me or private message me the question like, do I do consultation or how much do I charge and things like that. I thought I mentioned that in every episode, but obviously somehow you guys must not finish the whole episode. So here I really want to clarify. If you want to know any question regarding to, anything, I would just say anything. Please use my website because you have a search function that recording everything so I've been talking about so far. So far, I would say any question. Since I write blog for a long time, even though some topics I may not talk about in broadcast, I definitely write about it. So I would definitely highly recommend you guys, please go to my website, ruowen.com, and then do a search within my data. Then you may find the question that you already asked. Or if not, then you can consider drop me a message or leave me a question and I will get back to it later. Otherwise, most likely I will ignore you. Just if you find ignore, not like, don't get offended. It's most likely because I specify very clearly what kind of question I will answer. And then it doesn't fall into like category or I already answered that question and I would not even bother. So anyway, just quick clarify since I talk about it at the end of the episode and people still ask me questions. So I thought I'd reverse it and talk about it in the beginning of the episode. Hopefully that will clarify it. So anyway, before I begin, first let me introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. Today I want to talk about Om-mani-padme-hum. Why do I want to talk about it? Does that even make sense? That's not even Chinese, by the way. That's not even English. What it is, I believe that's a Sanskrit, like the ancient Tibetan or whatever it is, right? But it's very commonly used in Buddhism. They believe it will create, a shield, a guard, or keep you away from bad spirits. So you must know by now, a lot of chanting we do is mostly to try to keep you away from the bad spirits. And then now you just want to know why, how, what kind of bad spirit, exactly what kind of bad spirit am I trying to keep away from? You know what I mean? So anyway, I did spend some time to look into this very specific phrase. The reason I look into this particular very specific phrase is only in the recent years, I would say the past 10 years, 5 years or 10 years, it become kind of trendy things for Western people to start saying Om, Om. When you go yoga or when you go anywhere, they would do, namaste, or they will say Om while you are meditating, right? So, which it was during a period of time that I did go to various yoga class or Pilates classes, and it was weird for me that the instructor liked to say Om, right? Which normal situation, it probably wouldn't bother me, but the reason it bothered me, it actually started bothering me, and probably main reason for me not to go yoga anymore. No offense, but I'm just sensitive in that regard. Is I realize every time I make that sound, I start having headache. So not just having headache, it's like people start transferring some kind of message I don't need to know. Sometimes it would be, they have a fight with their girlfriend previous day, or it could be, they're thinking about what they're gonna eat, dinner. Sometimes it could be, what they're gonna do after class, or things like that, right? So because of this effect, I start to question, why does people want to say Om, and why does it create such kind of effect to me, right? And where does the Om come from? So that's why I start to trace back and start to realize Om actually originally from a phrase called Om-mani-padme-hum. So it's the beginning, the first letter of it. So then I started to try to look into why does people say this all the time? Why, like, exactly what does it do? Because unlike very common short phrase, other from chanting, unlike very common short phrase, like people simply call upon Buddha, it's like Western culture, you would say, dear St. Patrick, dear, Saint somebody, dear Jesus, you know what I mean? In Chinese, in Asian, in Buddhism, we have a lot of saying like that too. So, which I would understand because it's like I'm calling upon certain gods. I'm calling upon certain God and hoping this particular God will help me at this particular moment, right? So that I get, but only in this phrase, I don't really quite get. And I don't understand why is it such a trendy thing. It's like people talk about, people make the Om sound all the time in yoga, right? It took me a while for me to realize Om actually create a vibration that will actually make my, influence the vibration of my thought, very particularly thought, right? Not anything else, but very particularly of the thought. The period of time that I actually start looking to this phrase, Om-mani-padme-hum, is, believe it or not, is the time I actually can see vibration. And of course, you're going to ask me, what do you mean by see vibration? That means I can literally see vibration. I don't see a lot of things if I choose not to. But in that period of time, since it was something new, something I cannot control, I tend to see vibration all the time. And then that means anything coming sprung out of you, a thought, an idea, intentional, things like that, I will see, literally see the vibration. Any, energy coming out of the tree, anything coming out of the animal, anything come out of the living thing, I will see the vibration. And then you will ask me, what do you mean? How do you see the vibration? Okay, the best example I can give it to you is, have you ever see the heat? See the heat. Does that make sense to you? Not a fire, but see the heat. That is, when you are going to a certain area, and then maybe that heat was caused by fire, it can be caused by sun, it can be caused by something. So literally there's nothing, but you can see the heat. That means it's transparent, but you can see. It's almost like a transparent movement in the air, like you see the heat. The experience for me to see the vibration is exactly the same as feeling that I see the heat. I hope that makes sense to you. So when vibration happened, it almost at that instant moment, I feel I was in this big ocean, and then I can see the water movement. So it's all the vibration that will go in the air. Thanks to that skill that I have, that I did not have control of to close it, I'm able to realize what kind of effect Om does. Om create a vibration that's generated from your head. That's from your head. And then it depends on, I say, in the room, whose vibration is stronger than the other, then is able to take over the other one. But I say in this room, if the person who making the Om sound is only one person, then that person's thought, that person's mind, that person's intention will then generate certain vibration that go together with their sound and vibrate it, influence whoever's in this room and hearing the Om sound. Does that make sense? So later on, I start to realize Om itself is actually a vibration that is able to carry the thought, carry the intention, carry the mind. So because of that idea, I start then test the other 5 words, like, Om ma. Then I start trying to say, instead of saying Om, I start trying to say ma. I start breaking into little segment because I want to see what it does. If you are very aware of your own energy, which you are very aware of your being energy, how it flows, how you use it, how you contribute it, then you will be able to realize the moment you pronounce ma, The vibration is actually not on your head. The vibration is actually coming from your thought, from your throat. So the ma sound represent things that you feel you can say, you cannot say, you know, the energy. So the best way I can describe to you guys is Om-mani-padme-hum actually synchronize with how you guys will understand as chakra. Chakra mean, just imagine your whole being have a chakra right there. Disregard this whole 7, whatever they call, but you have 6 of them. Each letter represent an area. So if you read a chakra and then you start writing your Om-mani-padme-hum. So that means each word when you pronouncing, it will synchronize with, you know, ma with your throat. The way you can talk, the courage, how it flow, how it, you know, you're able to communicate and all that. Ni, when you pronounce ni, you will see how it actually synchronizes with your emotion and how it goes synchronized with your heart chakra and then radiate out. So vice versa. If you start to understand that and then you understand how you're connecting with chakra and how you work together, then you will also, well, plus what I've been talking to you guys, how the energy flow, right? We all, every being in this world are vibration. We are all vibration, whether you believe or not, whether you understand it or not. So this is actually more for me. It's kind of scientific understanding. So after spend months or years try to study each segment and understand. Surprisingly enough, when I was practicing this and exercise this is something I find very interesting. Like, I think many of you may be able to exercise or test it out in a way. What I was exercising it by little segment at a time and try to understand what is the best way to use the word separately. Then I realized it have a lot to do with your thought, your mind, or wherever that chakra that was connected to, right? But I also realized something. When I'm able to pronounce the sound, and that really synchronize with that area or that thought or that energy, I often or sometimes would get the response from the universe back. It's almost like I'm able to communicate without a language. So I'm able to communicate my thought with the universe that is all the living things. Either it's tree or it is bird. Very often bird get back to me or my animal and things like that. It's almost like I'm able to pronounce the sound of Om in a way they will be able to communicate back to me. So it does feel like I was in the middle of the pond and the energy I send out when it reach the parameter or get the information that I need to get, it will come back to me and I will become recipient. How long does it take? Well, from my experience, I don't know if there's anything to do because I'm very aware of my energy, but it does actually come back quite fast. You know what I mean? So I think in that regard, it really goes through that, you know, when you are in spirit form, you are not limited by time and space. Guys, I know it's kind of confusing, but eventually you will see you're connected together. So same thing as every sound that you make, if you want to synchronize or you want to feel like grounded sound and check how grounded you are, then you would decide to make the sound home, right? Om-mani-padme-hum. So after test out each segment and surprisingly, in a good way, finding out I can actually use that as almost universal language to communicate with all spirits or balancing or using my own vibration to balance out the other existence or things like that. I start to want to know then what is the purpose of connecting all 6 letters together. It's, you know, for me, it's so scientific study. It's another amazing thing for me. We guys all know, I'm going to try to explain something in something you guys already know. You guys all know when your chakra come to the balance and what will you feel, right? You feel center, you will feel your core value, and then you will reach the most balanced environment or your balanced status, right? It's the same thing as when you pronounce Om-mani-padme-hum. when you pronounce Om-mani-padme-hum, what does it does is almost try to do a quick check within your whole chakra, a quick check of your energy, and make sure you are centered. Are we centered all the time? No, most of us are not. Most of us are not aware of what we're doing or what we are thinking. Some people think, oh, I think I'm centered, but when it comes to communication or when it comes to confrontation, they are hard to express what it is they feel. So if we're living our daily life, it's very often due to the circumstances or the environment or the people that we're dealing with, our chakra might actually be off. Like this, our head is not in our head. Our head is either in our past, in our future, or in our fear, which is staying our fear most of the time. Our voice chakra, our ma chakra, is actually not there because most of the time we suppress it. Our heart, we feel the pain, but we tell ourselves not to feel the pain. It's vice versa, etc. You know what I meant, right? So, by pronouncing Om-mani-padme-hum, why does it have the power to protect you? Now, it's, as I say, when every living being know their own value, know their own being, aware of the energy, then they will understand how the vibration go. Vibration will always go like this, right? Spray out and then come back to the bottom, right? If you create a nice tunnel between your core. So by pronouncing Om-mani-padme-hum, you're trying to align all your chakra, or you try to align all your vibration and to the core, and then you create an energy, a proper energy on every living thing that flow outside and into you, right? This parameter, where the energy go, is kind of 360 degrees. Just use some imagination with me here. So basically, you become an apple, in, out and inward, and just imagine yourself all of a sudden become an apple, right? And within this center parameter, you then are protective. Who is protecting you? You are actually using your energy to protect you. So that is, your energy now is no longer scattering everywhere, not doing that, but you then create a very strong core that is invincible in regard of spirit, bad spirit. You know what I mean? So anyway, so if many of you want to know what the Om-mani-padme-hum really does, why does people saying that? This particular phrase is not so much by calling any god or any particular god, which we do have a lot of that in Buddhism, but very much so by you center your own energy, keep this steady, and then create a vibration for yourself because you are centered. So the energy you create is, I find quite amazing. So when you're only pronouncing one word, it goes this way out. It's almost like radiate out. But when you're able to say the whole 6 phrase, then you then create a complete circle. A complete circle that is able to protect you or share you or in whatever that instant moment like you need it for. So did I answer all the questions? I hope I answered the question. So anyway, just give you guys a quick idea. You want to know what does it does? That's exactly what it does. So yes, can it give you a quick protection? Yes, it can give you a very quick protection, and it's pretty much within your own power. So due to that, that's why I look into a later study. Why is it important for one's, whoever you are, whatever religion you choose to do? That's why later on I start to discover why is it important for any one of you to center your core energy, to understand your value, to trust yourself, to believe you can do it, because all the other elements I talk about, the power of trust, power of belief, power of everything else. I mean, thanks to this, I then later on start to get into what other thing I can do if that particular person is not religious, right? That's why later on I keep saying, understand your being, really know your value is really important, because it doesn't matter you're religious or not. It doesn't matter you can chant or not. If you can center your core being, unlikely any spirits or even devil is able to influence your thought. So anyway, just a little quick idea to share with you guys. Again, if you guys like what I'm doing, you can always go to join us on my Facebook, live on Facebook, or go to subscribe my YouTube channel, or subscribe my iTunes podcast, or my website, guys, or my website. Please check that place first, because everything I do, I try to store there. And it does have a very big database for you guys to Google first. So anyway, or go to my website, ruowen.com. Till then, I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.